Shalom. Um, this is a topic called Philo Alexandria. He was born around 20 BCE, and AD he died 40 AD CE. And I'm gonna get right into it. I made a video on it on Daily Motion. Check it out, Barry Scott. Type in my name, Barry Scott, and then type in Philo Alexandria, and you'll see it. And this one's gonna be a short introduction of him. Philo Alexandria, a Hellenized Jew, also called Judaeus Philo, is a figure that spans two cultures, the Greek and the Hebrew. When Hebrew mythological thought met Greek philosophical, or something like that, Greek philosophical thought in the 1st century BCE, it was only natural that someone would try to develop a speculative and philosophical justification for Judaism or Judaism in the terms of Greek philosophy. Thus, Philo produced a synthesis of both traditions, developing concepts for future Hellenistic interpretation of the Masonic Hebrew thought, especially by the Clement of Alexandria and Christian apologists like Athenagoras and Theophilus and Justin Mattier and Tertullian and things of that name. He may have influenced Paul, his contemporary, and perhaps the authors of the Gospel of John and the epistles to the Hebrews. In the process, he laid foundations for the development of Christianity in the West and the East as we know it today. And Philo's primary importance is this development of the philosophical and theological foundations of Christianity. The church preserved the Philonic and writings because Eubis or something like that of Caesarea labeled the monastic ascetic group of Theropotate, and then Philo describes. And he said contemplative lives as Christians, which is highly unlikely. That's what they say. But if you go to the nitty gritty, and I was like I was reading, I tried to make to attempt to this video. I'm going to get to the Stoic doctrine. Let's go to Platoism. I'm going to get it right here. And it says, Philo was the founder of the religious philosophy, a new habit of practicing philosophy. Philo was thoroughly educated in Greek philosophy and the culture, as can be seen from his superb knowledge of classical Greek literature. He had a deep reverence for Plato and referred to him as the most holy Plato. Philo's philosophy represented contemporary Platonism, which was a revised version of incorporating Stoic doctrine and terminology of Antiochus of Ascalon of 90 BC. and Eudorus of Alexandria, as well as the elements of Astrolon logic and ethics and Pythagorean ideas. Clement of Alexandria even called Philo the Pythagorean, and things of that nature. And then talking about Moses, the Greek, long before the Septuagint. It said long before the Septuagint. This guy right here created the New Testament. I'm going to show you a picture of this guy right here. This is Philo Alexander. This is the guy that created the New Testament, the doctrines that you see. He created the books, and he was a firmly good writer at the time. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, this guy right here. He was the guy that created all the epistles and the book of Revelation and things like that. He had help by Polynices of Tyana. Then he had help by other Stoics and things like that in the Hellenistic period, in the Greek period. And the Maccabees, they wrote the New Testament as well. Those are Edomites. Those are like mulatto Edomites, and they had an influence for our people in captivity. So yeah, kind of like in Christian churches today. This guy was a main figure in his day during the time period of, the Romans tried to take down the Greek Empire. So yeah, it was Greek mythology. And you can look this up and look his name up, and you can get this research from yourself. His doctrine is off, but this guy was the main one. Philo's doctrine of creation. Philo's attempt to bridge the Greek scientific or rational philosophy with the strictly mythological ideology of the Hebrew scriptures as base for the scientific approach. He uses worldwide view presented by Plato and Timaeus, which remain influential in the Hellenistic times. The characteristics or features of the Greek scientific approach is the biological interpretation of the physical world in anthropocentric terms, in the terms of purpose and function that may apply to the biological, psychological realities, but may not be applied to the physical world. Moreover, Philo operates often in two levels: the level of mythological Hebraic religious traditions, and the level of philosophical speculation in the Greek traditions. Nevertheless, Philo's attempts to harmonize the Mosaic and Platonic accounts of the generation of the world by interpreting the biblical story using the Greek scientific categories and concepts. He elaborates a religious philosophical worldwide view that became the foundation for the future Christian doctrine. And that's what he did. And Philo's doctrine of creation is intertwined with the doctrine of God, and it answers two crucial questions. Was the world created ex nihilo, or from the primordial or matter? What creation is temporal act, or is it an internal process? That's what he did. So he created the whole thing to deceive the world, like science, like he did for the whole New Testament. This guy was a so-called half-breed, known as a mulatto Edomite, and he's probably one of those people that had these, and then a lot of people say he was a black man, but we're not sure, but we know he exists. So yeah, so that is it with this video. This is information I've recently done on Daily Motion, so I hope you enjoy it. May Yahuwah bless you many times. All I want to say is shalom.